We are live.
See, mine is still spinning. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to another Facebook Live with Dr. Nelva Bryant. My goodness, it seems like it's been forever since we've seen you. But before we get into this fantastic special episode, please, Dr. Bryant, introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, everyone. Yes, Greta, it's been 2 weeks since our last Facebook Live session, and it feels weird. But everyone, hi, thanks for joining. I'm Dr. Nelva Bryant. I'm a veterinarian, and I work in the airline industry as a veterinarian. I actually work with Delta Airlines. I've been on staff with them since 2018 and brought on to help review and revise the policies for animal transportation. And in that role, I started seeing that pet owners, or just people in general, people shipping animals, there's more information that needs to be shared to better prepare the animals for transportation. So I developed When Pets Fly, my platform to share basically education that's needed to better prepare animals for transportation by air, basically. So again, we've been doing these Facebook Lives for a while. And I'm sorry, let me say, I've been involved with When Pets Fly. Actually, it's been 5 years. I started it during the pandemic. And I started initially just with a Facebook group. And then a year later, I added Greta on board, and we've been Zooming since that time frame. We've developed our website. The website is whenpets.com. And we social media presence on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then we've been doing these Facebook Live events. That was Greta's idea. And initially, we thought we were just going to be kind of gearing this towards pet owners, but it's turned into more than that. Basically, you guys be amazed. So many things that we do as far as animal transportation or pet transportation, has an impact on it. We've had folks on the Facebook Lives that give information about nutrition, because that impacts travel too. We have to think about that when they're traveling. We've had people that have pet shippers on here. We've had, we've had so many different people on here. And then also one thing that we want to bring in today to consider is also, how do we pay for a lot of things too? So we've got someone here today to discuss that with credit. So, but that's me, and I'm sorry I'm babbling. Greta, please introduce yourself, because you're my right hand woman. Thank you.
Thank you. So my name is Greta Russo, and yes, I work with Dr. Nelva Bryant at When Pets Fly. It's been a really fun journey. I've been working with her in the capacity of marketing and things to that nature. And I have loved what we have learned, the people we have met, and the things that we come across. It truly has been a growth experience for me as well as the company. So I'm so happy to be here. And we have a double episode today, starting off at an unusual time today with this episode at noon. With this special episode, we are bringing out Boo Larson from Care Credit. And a lot of you may recognize the name Care Credit. It's a financial resource to help you with medical bills and things to that nature. A lot of humans have used it over the years, but did you know that you can use it for pet expenses? And the question that we're going to go over today is, are you financially prepared for for owning a pet? And there's even though it's not as much as a child in raising them, there still is some expense to having a pet. So, it's.
Can I tell you my funny story though? I'm sorry, Greta, to cut you off, but I remember many years ago, well, you guys know I had to have my Naya put down, but initially when I had her as a puppy, I had all of her vaccines done, and I went to another veterinarian to do it. I didn't do it myself. So they were saying all the different charges that's needed. You want a heartworm test? Yes. All these tests that were needed that I knew diagnostically she needed. I kept saying, yes, 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 yes. Well, at the time, the person didn't say the bill. They didn't tell me how much I was paying. So I went to go pay, and they said the bill came out to say $450 or something. And I was like, what? And I had the money. I just didn't expect it to be so high. And, you love your pets and you want to do the best for them, but it does cost. And you just have to be prepared. And thank God I was prepared to pay for it. But there might be instances where people aren't prepared for it and they want the best for their pets. So having something like Care Credit available will be ideal for them.
Right, absolutely. And for vet professionals, or I should say in the office of veterinarians,
Mhm.
keeping so that people don't have that initial sticker shock, it would be wise to express or explain the prices as you go through things so that the pet parents can be cognizant of this task or this procedure or this injection is going to cost this, and so that things can be relative and you're giving the pet parent a chance to understand what is needed, why it's needed, and also give them the chance to say, hey, maybe not now, but let's try to schedule that for later. Because the bill could be $100, and that if you did not prepare for it, that still could be way too much.
Yeah.
So, but I am sure Miss Larson is going to explain, things that she has found through the years, what really makes, pet parents drop to the ground from fainting, and what is actually an area, an amount that seems reasonable for a lot of pet parents. I think owning pets has been, it seems like forever, and the cost of owning pets has always been there. But, just like with anything, whether it's your pet or whether it's your child, the person who's paying just should have the courtesy of not being surprised when the bill comes around. So,
I definitely agree.
but before we roll into bringing Boo, I wanted to there's been some real big news media. I just want to alert everyone who travels a few different things. Number one, there was just an article that came out in Travel and Leisure, and they said that they are going to start making you take out of your luggage portable chargers. They do not no longer want this to be packed in your bags. I just read that in Travel and Leisure. So please, everyone, if you have a portable charger, go to Travel and Leisure and check out that story, especially if you take portable charges. The other thing I want to remind everyone is that, as we said this before earlier in the year, but as of May 7th, real IDs is a real thing. So if you are trying to travel by air and you do not have a real ID, if you're trying to use your driver's license as a form of ID, you will not be able to board the plane. And just a quick note, a real ID is your new driver's license that has the gold star in the top right-hand corner, I believe it is. So just check your driver's licenses to make sure you have the gold star, a real ID, before you try to use that as a form of ID in getting on planes. And that's here in the United States. I don't think it applies to the rest of the world, but the rest of the world, you gotta use your passport. So, and then also, since we do have a large presence in India, I wanted to make aware as of this week, there's been a new travel advisory of several, I think it's up to about 15 or 20, several airports have been closed because of the fighting that is going on over in your area. So please, if you are trying to travel into or out of India, please check the newest travel advisory as they list all of the airports that have been closed down. So I wanted to make sure we got all of those out there because so many people watch us.
That's
But
very good updates and everything. I wonder also of the portable chargers. I know they had you can't travel in cabin or have any bag that has lithium batteries, I believe, with it. I wonder, I don't know what actually, just curious on why the portable chargers. But that's
I don't know if there's a correlation.
Yeah, just wonder.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a correlation. I get travel leisure updates, and that popped up this morning, and I was like, oh my. And I know a lot of people that carry them.
Right.
So I figured I'd just mention it here, and to check out the article to read further.
No, thank you. Great updates. Great
Oh
updates.
well. Did you have before we bring
any pet
Boo
updates?
out?
Yeah, any pet updates you can think of? I'm trying to think of anything in particular. I would just say folks need to start getting ready. We're about to enter that season of pet travel with the summer, and then eventually fall holiday season travel too. Please go to our website, winpets.com, and we do have some tips for traveling with pets. I would recommend you looking at that, please. And also, we have our next newsletter is going to be coming out next month, and we'll have more tips and things within our newsletter in reference to that. So you need to go to the website and sign up for that.
Yep, June 1st, our newsletter will come out. So if you're not receiving it, make sure you sign up to receive our June 1st newsletter. We get all kinds of great tips from Dr. Bryant, and we have guest writers that join us from around the travel industry, and they always provide great resources and stuff like that. So please go to our website, winpets.com, to sign up for our newsletter. So you ready to bring out Miss Boo?
Ready.
Okay. So let me click on Boo.
Well,
Bring her to the
I'm
forefront. Hi. How are you?
Hi, how are you? It's great to be here.
Great.
Good.
Well, it's so good to have you. I am going to read your bio, and then we'll go right into it, my dear.
Okay.
Boo's career has been purposefully focused within the animal health, veterinarian, and pet care arena, with an emphasis on business and marketing strategy, sales leadership, and management. Since she crossed the pond from the UK in 1999, she has been immersed in the US veterinarian profession and pet care industry, which she is passionate about, helping to ensure a healthy future for the industry, pet owners, and for pets. Over the years, Boo has worked on a multitude of animal health and pet care brands. She currently provides strategic leadership at Synchrony Financial as general manager and senior vice president of care credit financing in their veterinary care and pet care division. She works closely with strategic partners to deliver the financial solutions, education, technology, and communication that empowers access to care for pet owners and satisfaction for veterinarian teams. In her spare time, when not traveling on business, Boo enjoys living in Southern California and spending time on dog walks with her 105-pound golden doodle, Loki, and cheering on her 21-year-old daughter. Everyone, please help me welcome Boo Larson from Care Credit.
I love it. Thank you very much. What a great welcome on a Friday as well. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, good.
We worked hard to get our clapping machine, so
yeah. If you know our history, you understand why we laugh every time we hear it, because we went from trying to do it, clapping hands, and I went out, bought this special equipment thinking that this is going to do it, and I couldn't figure out how to work it. I'm not computer savvy, so I sent it to Greta thinking she could do it. She couldn't do it either. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. What's also awesome is you have me up here as a CEO, which is so fantastic. I love that. I'm not a CEO, by the way. I am just a general manager, but of the pet care division, as you mentioned. But I'll take CEO today. That's a great title. Thank you for promoting me. I'll
absolutely, you're the boss. Well, Boo, we're so happy to have you here. And, finances is a huge part of being a pet parent. A lot of people think you buy the cute pet, stick them in the purse, and that's it. But we really want to talk about and really address, are you financially prepared for pet parenthood? And figured there would be no better person than to have that conversation with you. So, Miss Larson, first, please explain. I always try to take the assumption that when we bring people on, no matter how big your company is and the brand, I always want to assume there are people who don't know who you are. So can you tell us a little more about Care Credit?
Of course I can. So Care Credit is about 35 years old. We've been around. And I might start with the fact that we were acquired by Synchrony Financial 10 years ago. Synchrony Financial, for many people on the call may be familiar, that Synchrony, while it is a premier consumer financial services group or bank, we are the bank behind thousands of retailers, big box retailers. So if you like Lowe's, JCPenney, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, you name it, right? And when they acquired Care Credit 10 years ago, it was because we specialize in healthcare financing, patient financing. We are in over 50 healthcare services, so meaning 285,000 providers, from the dentist that you might walk into to have your child's braces fitted. You can finance your treatment with Care Credit. It started in vet, as I mentioned, 30 plus years ago. We are in 85% of veterinary practices in the US, all across the US. And we'll talk more about that, which is the specialty piece of it. But you can also go, if you're going to get LASIK treatment for your eyes, which isn't covered by insurance, for instance, you can apply for Care Credit and you can finance it over the 6 months or 12 months. And what makes Care Credit different to other credit cards, so Visa, MasterCard, for instance, is that it is called a deferred interest product, meaning you don't pay any interest if you pay over that promotional 6-month period or 12-month period, whatever that provider is offering. So it really is a wonderful way of being able to, what I call, just spread a little bit of love over time and not pay it all at once, when in these economic times, it's really hard to do. So Care Credit is a private label credit card, we call it. It is available, as I said, in all the enrolled providers in the majority of 50 human health segments. So I hope that gave a bit of
That's
context.
fantastic. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And in the vet world, for those 85% of veterinarians across the country, big and small, we are there for when you take your pet, could be your dog, your cat, your pocket pet, hamster, gerbil, reptile, whatever it may be. We do not discriminate against any pet. It's whatever the vet may have a specialty in, of course, and then horses as well in the equine profession. It's very easy to apply. You can either apply and seek everything out on carecredit.com, but ultimately when you're in the veterinary practice itself, that is the time where you can apply on your phone. It takes 90 seconds and then you can pay for your treatment over time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you apply in the doctor's office, can you be accepted at that time while you're there?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yep. And you just put in what the treatment amount is, or what you think you need. And within 90 seconds, we're able to do a pre-qual, meaning a pre-qualification. So a credit check. And then you say, yes, I want to go ahead. And then we approve you. So, it is a wonderful way. It is, I will say, one caveat, like all credit cards, comes with approval of your credit worthiness. That is the only caveat. But we try to approve as many people as possible so that pets can get the care they need, because it's really, really important. And, you know, in our world at Care Credit, in the pet care world particularly, it's, you know, our furry friends, when we take them into a veterinary practice, as you know, Dr. Bryant, it's so hard because they can't tell us that they have, you know, a stomach ache or a headache, and so diagnostic treatments, which often have to occur, and blood work are the first places to go to be able to determine what might be out of whack, so to speak. And, you know, some of that goes into the step-by-step process of treatments, right, which is ultimately, in this day and age, very necessary to have and provide the optimal care for the pet. But it can get costly. And I would say today, in this economic time of uncertainty, since COVID, we've all seen pet ownership rise since COVID. And coming out of it, and now with the economic uncertainties that's ahead of us, I think it's really more than ever so very important to help pet owners, pet parents feel that they have a resource and an option and choice in this financing option. It's probably one of the things that the cost of care, as we call it, in veterinary care, is the number one barrier to treatment acceptance. I know as a pet owner, I have been presented, you know, the treatment plan and the cost for Loki recently, and it was $4,000. And, you know, I wasn't expecting that. And those unexpected costs, we don't budget for pet care, dare I say it. And so, you know, that cost, they had to go in and do endoscopy and all sorts. And turned out Loki had a bad bacteria in his gut, and lots of prescriptions for him. But at the end of the day, I was able to put that on Care Credit, and I'm paying that off over time.
That's good, and I'm glad you mentioned too, Boo, that diagnostic tests are definitely needed in veterinary medicine. A lot of pet owners don't understand that we need these tests. We need this to kind of find out what's going on internally. And going back to what you said, they can't tell you what's going on, and we can't just. I always say I don't have X-ray eyes. I can't see, you know, exactly what's going on. I might need X-rays or endoscopy. We need diagnostic tests to actually figure out what's going on with pets at times. Yeah. And it costs, unfortunately. And that's where all these things come up. So folks have to understand, as you said, there's a cost for pet ownership. There's lies and situations that happen with them that are out of everyone's control, but you still need to be able to take care of them properly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's, you know, it is one of those things. And as we said, sort of coming out of COVID, you know, the whole world has been impacted by, you know, significant price increases, right? And price increases are happening everywhere. We all know with inflation, right? Inflation has driven up the cost of food, it's driven up the cost of services, and veterinary care is one of those services. And, you know, every year there has been a price increase in every category of business and that impacts consumers, right? And we're all consumers. I mean, I would go into a local, you know, grocery store, and I'm constantly like, wow, that's expensive. Gosh, that's gone up. That wasn't that, you know, a year ago. But in veterinary care and the cost of pet care, it has. And, you know, for the veterinary community and profession, as you can probably contest, Dr. Bryant, it's very, you know, it's really hard because there is perception, right or wrong. Oh my gosh, my veterinarian has suddenly become so expensive. I'm going to hold off on that routine visit that I might otherwise have taken Loki to get his flea and tick treatment or his dental cleaning, because the cost of treatment has gone up so much. So I don't know if you find that.
No, I wonder also too, maybe it's the fact that we don't really, as far as if I go in for care for myself and whatever diagnostically is needed for me, it's really not given to me as an option. We get a bill at the end of it, and thank God we have co-pays and all the different things to take care of our insurance and healthcare benefits.
Yeah.
But because we don't see them directly as they're going along and we can't even pick and choose what we want to get done. Then now pet owners are given information up front that they have no idea and understanding of the importance of it. And they just see a number associated with a veterinarian, and they're saying they're expensive. They're just trying to make money off you. And they're not. They're just trying to take care of your pet.
I know. And I will say, the veterinary profession is amazing. It's it's no different than wonderful healthcare, support in the human health side. But I will say that for so many of our, for the multiple hats that you all have to wear, from 1 minute, it's absolutely fantastic, euphoric, you're delivering a litter of puppies, to the next minute having to share with a pet owner that their dog may have cancer or may have to have an immediate surgery. And it's a very emotional environment for everybody concerned. And the blood, sweat, and tears that go in by the practice team of your vet technicians and your office managers and kennel assistants behind the scenes. Only when I started this journey into the pet world and the animal health world, the veterinary profession, did I truly, truly become so appreciative of what they do every single day. I mean, they are on 24/7 and they will do anything for pets. It's give their services away if they have to. It's incredible. So thank you for what you do and for all the veterinary friends out there.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, it's a tough profession to be in, but to be honest with you, it's the most rewarding thing I could have done. It's lifelong dream. Always wanted to be a veterinarian. So I love interacting with people and their pets and doing the best for them. I would just tell you, probably most veterinarians you talk to will say the same. Lifelong dream. This is what I do. I care about animals that much. So,
yeah.
How can pet owners be financially prepared to care for their pet? Well, I know you started to go into it about, how Care Credit is an amazing tool to have. But I also remember learning that you have a partnership with a pet insurance. So I would imagine the 1-2 combination of having any insurance and Care Credit is probably great tools to have.
Yes.
Could you expand on that?
Yes, I can. And thank you for bringing it up because, Care Credit is a financing payment solution that is a choice, right? But there are other things, other tools and finance payment solutions that are fantastic to have. So pet insurance, just in general, as we know, is a wonderful thing to obviously take out if you have a puppy. The fact that over a lifetime of that pet's care, there are going to be unexpected moments. There are going to be routine care need, right? Just going in and generally having vaccines and things that just help prevent, right? And provide good health for the pet. But those unexpected moments, and as a pet gets older, as we all get older and our joints start to hurt and, all the things, trust me, I know. The senior pets are going to require more treatments, right? So we conducted a lifetime of care study, as we called it, where we looked at the cost of care over a 15-year dog's life. And it went from everything from the puppy stage, the nutrition that you might give your pet, right the way through to the boarding and grooming services that it might need, to treats, to you name it, to the end of life. And as shocking as it might sound, and this isn't to deter or scare anybody, but I think it provides the context that, when you add it up every year, it is the best part of $2,500 a year, if not more, for a dog, right? Because there's more in the puppy stage and obviously in the first year. But as that goes through, over that 15 years, it can go from $45,000 to $55,000 for a pet's life. And that kind of money, when you look at it, it's like, gosh, I never budgeted for my pet's care. So how can you offset some of that cost, right? And I think really part of that is these other areas like pet insurance. So getting pet insurance, which allows you to get coverage. It allows that pet to be covered for those moments. There are wellness plans that are through your veterinarian. You can ask about a wellness plan that allows you to pay a monthly amount to have a lot of routine care taken care of under that subscription. And then also, just having your own pet's saving account isn't a bad idea. Putting a few dollars in every month just for those unexpected moments. But to go back to your question, Greta, about pet insurance, we work and partner very closely with many brands within the pet insurance side of things. Pets Best is a great pet insurance brand. It's a low cost, good coverage. They have several different plans within, from a wellness plan to an accident plan and various things that you could take out. But why does pet insurance and financing work? Isn't it an either or, is what many consumers might say. And my answer back to say is actually it's double coverage. Because with pet insurance, there is always a little bit of a deductible. So let's say you might get 80% of the total treatment plan cost reimbursed. What you can do now with Pets Best, if you're a Pets Best insurance policy holder and you're a Care Credit card holder, you can pay, you can pay the treatment plan with your Care Credit card, file your claim with Pets Best, and it just instantly from Pets Best directly to your Care Credit card will get paid off, so that you don't have to deal with any of that. So the direct reimbursement from your claim will go directly back to your Care Credit card.
Wow.
And the reason why those financing and pet insurance work is that it covers Care Credit can cover the deductible. It could cover some out-of-pocket expenses that may not be covered under your pet insurance plans. Sometimes pre-existing conditions with a pet are excluded from pet insurance plans. So those are things that can be put on Care Credit to help offset those moments. So I think, outside of Pets Best, there are obviously others such as Figo, Spot, Pumpkin, Embrace, so many. And you can go to a marketplace and bring up your opportunity of getting a quote from any of those. But it's a great partnership.
Do they still have the same connection that Pets Best has with you guys as far as being connected with payments?
So we are actually, some of those others I mentioned, we're gradually rolling those out. So
wow.
Yes, right now it's just with Pets Best, but Pets Best is a great brand and great coverage for
That's
sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I know you brought up your study, and I did put up the banner for it, but I just wanted to point out to the people who watch this, in case you want to read more or learn more about the expenses of having a pet, they have a site where you can go get it, and it's right here in this banner. And you can find out more at petlifetimeofcare.com.
Yeah. And it's a very easy.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure.
It's a lovely visual study, so it's very easy to read. I think some of the key takeaways from the study, just going back to those unexpected moments, we found within the study, and it's probably not surprising, but 1 out of 3 of us don't budget for pet care, right? We get very stressed about it, right? And $250 is the financial threshold where we all start to get a little anxious. So you were mentioning, Dr. Bryant, about that $450. It's real, right? Mm-hmm. And I think what we're trying to do at Care Credit is to just provide a payment solution for pet parents to feel that they are ready, they are prepared, you have it with you. So, you can avoid those emotional and economic, where I call it, where economics and emotions meet in the exam room, or when you're paying your bill, when it's all a bit of a shock. And we're all feeling stressed about our fur babies and what's just occurred. It just helps really relieve a lot of that stress. And I think at the end of the day, again, it is a choice. It isn't for everybody, but it is a choice that is a good one. And it's a bit like the analogy of you go to Best Buy to buy a TV and it says 0 interest. If paid over time, that's the same sort of model. Yeah.
Okay. Now, just to clarify, does the study cover more animals than dogs, or is it just dogs?
It's dogs and cats.
Does it also cover cats and horses and stuff?
Yes, so we do have a horse study for those that are interested. We do have a horse study. I want to say it's called Equine Lifetime of Care, but there are so many different URLs that I'm confusing. So I can send that out in the chat. And then also we're just about to do and roll out. We've just conducted a pocket pet study on hamsters, gerbils, guinea pigs, all your furry friends, around preparedness for them and what it means, and the cost of care associated with a pocket pet. So we're trying to cover all bases to really inform and help pet parents.
What about our pet owners that want your reptiles or snakes or iguanas or?
Yes, we haven't gone down the reptile route yet. So I'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So lifetime.
Well, there are a lot out there.
Yes, exactly. And I think for our horse lovers, it's horses can live for up to 30 plus years, right? So you've got a £1,700 horse that gets hurt or gets a colic or whatever it might be, and you're really dealing with some 3 zeros and then some. So very much just to create some awareness out there for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely. Dr. Bryant, do you have any questions?
No, just the thoughts on it. As you just mentioned, there are horses. I would imagine thinking someone saying I want a horse, but they would be extremely expensive to own. And everything with that. Yeah. I'll be honest, I haven't looked into data for dogs and cats, but I think people should look at that data before that. Everyone says they want a pet, but you really need to consider what it takes to have them as far as being a pet owner. Because it can be really expensive. I mean, again, you're right. If when I initially, my story was telling you, I didn't think it was going to be much more than $300 in my mind. I'm saying yes to everything because I know it was the best interest for her to have all these things, and I want the best for her. But I just didn't expect it, and it just throws you off. It's like you expect to see a certain number, then they go up or double. It's like, whoa, what? So. Yeah, it's a surprise. But as Greta said earlier, though, there should be a way that you're selling these prices as we're going along to let us know. But either way.
Yeah. So, our way to help, is often ask your veterinarian, do you offer Care Credit? Do you take pet insurance? The chances are they probably do. There's probably a brochure on the wall that may be slightly hidden. We have QR codes that are usually now in every practice where you can scan literally within the practice and apply for Care Credit, and in 90 seconds get the result right there and then. So we've made it very streamlined and easy for people now because it's important to make it as quick as possible.
Right.
No, that's fine. And I think since 2018, I know, I think the number is something like 56% the prices have increased 56% in pet care.
Mhm.
And, you know, that right there is every reason why we need to help all of you who are pet parents and interested in just being aware that, you know, that need to, you know, it's incredibly expensive, no matter how you look at it. And it's just great to be able to have the opportunity to have options to be able to pay for pet care.
Yeah. Yeah. And just another thought too, relating to
So
travel.
I know it.
I was gonna say, let me say, just a thought of relating it to travel. Everything is all related because, in a sense, say if someone's trying to travel internationally, can some of those fees and costs be used for care credit? Say if I needed to get an international health certificate and all the different diagnostic tests, can that something that could be?
If the veterinary practice offers care credit, it can be put on care credit. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so in a sense, there's no limitations. Basically, anything that a veterinarian can offer services can be taken care of. Awesome.
Correct. Yes, indeed. Yep.
But to clarify, the veterinarian offices, don't the veterinarian offices have to be in the United States?
Yes, but they can pay for the
to
treatment
clarify
to be able to travel. Yes, and I think that's, you know, another thing that I hadn't really appreciated in talking with you previously, Dr. Bryant, is, you know, when you take a long trip in the holidays in the summer and you're taking your pets with you, the importance, not just for international trips, but even in a road trip, right? Or you're going camping or whatever it might be, to be prepared with vaccines and prevention in case of a bite or a snake bite or something. Right. But to go to your vet, to be able to just make sure that I'm going on this trip and these are the things, help me understand what needs to be covered.
Right. Yeah. No, it sounds like to me in traveling in general, you said that care credit is primarily US based with everything as far as the service that you purchase. But say if you're traveling domestically, and as you mentioned, say you're going somewhere and snake bite, get anything happen, food, you know, eat something and have a GI upset, anything. It's good to have a care credit available, you know, having that with you when you're traveling, because God forbid something happens and you're away from home and now there's some extra fees. So
and one thing I didn't mention is, as I did mention, we're in all the human healthcare specialties, right, as well. So if for any reason something happens to you and you have a care credit card, or you once you've applied for care credit, you can use it in any of those 285,000 healthcare providers. And so it makes it really easy. It is not just a one and done application.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
I wanted to ask, you mentioned some of the pet services that you cover, of course, the doctor visits and the shots and everything, but also, does it also cover teeth cleaning?
Yes.
Maybe
anything that's under your veterinary
and grooming.
Yes. So under your veterinary practice is roof. When you walk in, you'll often see the bags of pet food. You'll see shampoos. You'll see a lot of the stuff at the front. We cover all of that. Anything that you buy or any service that you get that your veterinarian offers can be put on care credit. So it really makes it very easy, very seamless. And for your, you know, not just one dog, but your other dog, your cat, all of your fur babies. So, yeah.
But you haven't expanded out to, say, if it's a boarding facility, if the boarding facility is a standalone, not related to a veterinarian.
Yes. So we are in Destination Pet. We are offered at Pet Paradise. More to come, but those are the two big ones that we have today.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow. Big need.
If a person gets the teeth cleaned at a groomer's, will you cover that bill?
We are not at all independent small grooming facilities. Just the big ones that I mentioned there, Destination Pet that has a grooming facility, and also Pet Paradise. But we are also looking at expanding into that area, as well as we are in some shelters as well for rescue. So you can put your, you'll be starting to be able to put your adoption on Care Credit if you would like to as well, the adoption fee. There are just, as we expand the offering to as many, pet parents as possible for all different needs, it's a real joy to be able to sort of expand that network for us, right? So yes, the independent groomers, we're just not in those, we're in the national groups.
Awesome.
What shelters are you in?
Oh, Greta, goodness, we're in the Arizona Humane Society. We're in so many. Forgive me, I could go down the list. All the big ones, many of the small in the US. Yes. And really, those.
I'm going to make I'm going to make a flyer after our conversation that'll recap everything. So I'll tell people to go to your site to look up what shelters and stuff.
Yes, and I think also we have a locator on carecredit.com, so you can look at by zip code where your veterinarian, what veterinary practices are close to you that offer Care Credit, and you can select from there if you don't have a veterinarian today. Or you just want to know if your vet offers it. Yeah.
That's nice.
Fantastic. Well, if people want to learn more about Care Credit and how it works with your vets and the different pet bills, definitely go to carecredit.com/vetmed. And just to learn more about Care Credit in general, all you have to do is go to carecredit.com and you can explore how you as a human can use their services. Oh, I'm so excited that we had a chance to have this conversation with you, Boo. Is there any last things that you want to say to everyone?
No, I just want to say thank you all for being on and listening, and for those of you who are pet parents, which I'm sure many of you are, the Be Prepared for Care could not be a more important message for our fur babies. And thank you for anyone that is already a Care Credit card holder. Thank you so very much. And to those that are interested, thank you also. And Dr. Nelva, thank you for hosting me today. And Greta, I really appreciate it.
Wonderful having you here, Boo.
Absolutely. Dr. Bryant.
Thank you so much. And just really, honestly, shared valuable information. And gosh, I learned a lot myself, to be honest with you. People ask me actually recommendations for pet insurance, and I'm going to recommend, as you said, Best Pet and
Pets Best.
Thank you. Pets Best.
I'm good.
Get it together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. All right.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to point out, besides visiting carecredit.com, make sure you follow Care Credit on social media. As you can see, they're on everything, including Twitter, which is now X, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, all with the title of Care Credit, so that you can learn more about them. And as they roll out things like these new studies and also new coverage for different services. So definitely, I would think Care Credit is probably one of the things you want to make sure you have, even in case of an emergency. Care Credit is definitely someone who can help you not only as a human, but also with your animals. And as you mentioned, all your babies. So I want to thank you all so much for joining us on this special episode, your lunchtime at noon on a Friday. And we'll have to bring Boo back so that we can talk more about Care Credit and all the new things you're rolling out. And I'll make sure to place in a flyer where people can go and find out about the research that you've done because that's important. If people know what to expect, these prices will be coming along. I think that'll also help too.
Great. Thank you for your support.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I'll make sure that we get Care Credit put up on our website as one of our resources to promote and make sure that we tell everyone about. So, does anybody have any last minute words before we sign out?
No, just thank you, Boo. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Yes. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I pushed end stream.